Let me give you 3 steps to start a life change. Steps that can transform not just your life, but also your personality, your lifestyle, your entire outlook. Everything can change if you follow these steps. Let's dive into them. Number 1, find out how things work. The first key to doing better is understanding. You can't make progress without knowing how things work. To truly change your life, you need ideas, because ideas are the seeds of change. My mentor, Mr. Schaff, made this crystal clear to me. He said, "Jim, the major problem isn't a lack of resources, it's a lack of ideas." When I first met him, I didn't have a dime to my name. I told him, "Mr. Schaff, I don't have any money." He looked at me and said, "Jim, that's not a problem." I was puzzled. How could not having money not be a problem? But he explained, "The real problem is not the lack of money, it's the lack of ideas on how to create money and wealth." And that was a revelation to me. You see, it's not about what you don't have, it's about what you don't know. If you get the right ideas, you can change anything. Money, relationships, health, career, it all starts with an idea. But where do ideas come from? They come from study, from observation, from curiosity. You need to be in a constant state of learning. Mr. Schaff used to tell me, "Jim, if you learn something valuable, don't keep it in your head. Put it down in your journal. Don't use your head for a filing cabinet. Capture those ideas so that you can go over them again and again." Repetition is the key to making an idea stick. Go over it and over it and over it. Someday that idea will take root. It will start to grow, and before you know it, it shows up in your bank account, your appearance, your personality, and your lifestyle. But it all starts with finding out how things work. And to do that, you need curiosity, a childlike curiosity. Be curious about everything. Ask questions, seek answers, and don't be satisfied until you understand. Children are the best example of this. When they want to know something, they'll bug you with 1,000 questions. They'll drive you to the brink, but they won't stop until they get their answers. That's the kind of curiosity you need. In fact, Jesus, the master teacher, said, "Unless you can become like little children, you might as well forget it. You don't have a prayer." What a profound piece of advice. You've got to be like a child in 4 key ways: curiosity, excitement, faith, and trust. Curiosity is the drive to know more. It's the spark that ignites discovery. Excitement is the energy that fuels your actions. Get excited about your potential to change your life. Faith is the belief that things will work out, that your efforts will bear fruit. Adults are often too skeptical, too jaded, but children have an unshakable faith in the possibilities. And trust. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and trust in the wisdom of those who've walked the path before you. Trust is a childish virtue, but the rewards it brings are immense. Number 2, you must go to work. Now that you've gathered the knowledge, it's time to put it to use. Action is where the rubber meets the road. In the business world, we call this a game plan. Every successful person operates with a game plan, a clear, detailed strategy for how they're going to achieve their goals. And it's not just in business. You need a game plan for every area of your life. Your finances need a game plan. Your relationships need a game plan. Your health needs a game plan. Your career needs a game plan. Even your personal growth needs a game plan. Don't just think about what you're going to do. Write it down. There's power in putting your thoughts on paper. When you operate from your head, it's easy to get lost in the details, to forget important steps. But when you operate from paper, you have a clear, actionable plan that you can refer to and refine as you go along. I often ask people, "What's your plan for the next 6 months?" If they start to tell me, I say, "No, don't tell me, show me. Show me your game plan, and then we can make something happen." Now here's the best word to go with action: massive. Massive action is the cure-all. If you're going to make calls, make 1,000. If you're going to knock on doors, knock on 1,000. If you're going to start a project, give it everything you've got. That's how you make a real change. The language of the poor is, "I'll try it a time or two and see what happens." But that's why they stay poor. You need a better plan, one that involves massive action. Pick up a good idea and take heavy action. That's the formula for success. Don't wait until you've learned everything. Act on what you know now. Too many people fall into the trap of learning without doing. They read, they study, they plan, but they never take action. They think they need to know everything before they start, but that's a mistake. Let your learning lead to action, and you can become wealthy, not just in terms of money, but in every area of life. Remember, there are many kinds of wealth. Money is just one of them, and it's actually one of the least valuable. I know people with a lot of money who are very poor in other areas, poor in relationships, poor in health, poor in spirit. Money isn't everything. As the song goes, as for fortune and as for fame, they are illusions. They're not the solutions they promise to be. So aim for wealth in all its forms, and to get it, you need a heavy action game plan. Number 3, don't try to beat the system. Here's a little caution, and it's an important one. Don't try to beat the system. Find out how it works and work it, but don't try to cheat it. Some people learn just enough to start cutting corners, looking for shortcuts and cheap answers. They think they can outsmart the system, but that's a fool's game. You can't cheat your way to lasting success. If you try, you'll end up with a cheap life, one that lacks depth, integrity, and real achievement. Find out how things work best, and then do it that way, even if it seems to take longer. Do it right without compromise. It may take more time and effort up front, but the rewards will be worth it in the end. Shortcuts often lead to setbacks. Quick fixes are usually temporary. But when you do things the right way, you build a strong foundation that will support you for years to come. Under this step, here's another key. Be a quick learner. Don't let it take long to teach you a lesson. Learn quickly from your mistakes. If something doesn't work, figure out why and adjust your approach. Don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again. One guy told me he broke his nose 7 times in the same place. Someone said, "Looks like you'd stay out of that place. Learn quicker." And here's a crucial part of this 3rd step. Don't be stubborn. Stubbornness can be a major roadblock to your progress. It's good to be determined, but not so rigid that you refuse to adapt or change when necessary. Life is constantly changing, and those who succeed are the ones who can adapt quickly to new circumstances. Be flexible. Be willing to change course when needed, and you'll find success much faster. So, in summary, the 3 steps to life change are: find out how things work, go to work, and don't try to beat the system. These steps may seem simple, but they are profound. If you follow them, you'll set yourself on a path to real, lasting success. Remember, change doesn't happen overnight, but with the right ideas, massive action, and a commitment to doing things the right way, you can transform your life in ways you never imagined. Let me leave you with 4 questions, what I like to call questions to ponder. These questions were invaluable to me, and I hope they will be just as valuable to you. So let's dive in. The first question is, why? Why should we work this hard? Why take that many classes? Why go to school for so many years? Why take notes, read the books, and put yourself through all the push-ups and disciplines? It's a good question. Why? Why put in all this effort? The best answer I can offer to why is to ask another question. The second question, why not? Why not see how many books you can read, how many classes you can take, and how many skills you can develop? Why not see how valuable you can become to the marketplace, to your friends, and to your family? Why not see what you can make of yourself? Why not see how far you can go, how much you can see, how much you can earn, and how much you can share? That's the heritage we all have, especially here in America. The heritage of seeing what we can make out of our lives now that we've been given this extraordinary opportunity. There's something magical about the why not question. It opens doors in the mind. It challenges the status quo and pushes you beyond your limits. It's about stretching yourself, about exploring the vast potential within you. So why not? Why not push a little harder? Why not aim a little higher? Why not make the most of this life that you've been given? After all, the potential is there, waiting to be unlocked by your why not? The third question, why not you? Why not you? Why not you with good self-esteem? Why not you starting to change, starting to set goals, and making progress toward financial independence? If I can do it, you can do it. I wish I had a lot more testimonials to share with you today besides mine. A whole steady stream of people who would tell you their stories. Stories of those who started with nothing and went on to run big enterprises, or a mother who was on welfare and now owns her own business. If they could stand before you, guess how they would probably end their stories? They'd probably say, "Why not you? If we can read, you can read. If we can change, you can change. If we can figure it out, you can figure it out. If we can turn it around, you can turn it around. There isn't anything you can't accomplish." That's what those testimonials would say. So I want to say it to you personally. Why not you? You've got the brains, the stamina, the vitality, the interest. You've got your whole life ahead of you. You've got the future. If anybody can do it, you can do it. If one of us can do it, hey, we all can do it. So why not you? The door of opportunity is open to everyone, but it's up to you to walk through it. The question is, will you? The fourth and final question, why not now? Why not start now? This is as good a time as any. The 20th century is winding down, and we're getting ready to step into a new century, a new era. What a perfect time to set your goals, to work on yourself, to hone your skills. What a good time to get it together. What a good time to start this process of personal development, of growing, changing, and developing. What a great time to have a solid plan for your money, your life, and your future. There's no better time than now. The opportunities are here, the resources are available, and the potential is within you. The question is, why not seize this moment? Why not make this the turning point in your life? Why not now? I hope that one day I'll have the chance to see you in person, to hear your story, to learn about the progress you've made. Whether it's on this side of the world or the other, in some school, some seminar, or maybe even at a company you work for, I hope our paths cross. And until then, I wish you the best. I want all that I've gained to be yours, and much, much more. Now let me remind you of something crucial. Whenever you engage in any endeavor, always take time for self-reflection. It's a fundamental process. Knowing what information you need and gathering it is one of the keys to living the good life. Some of the best advice Mr. Schoff gave me in those early years was about the why and the how of study. Study, that's a key word for life change. If you wish to be successful, study success. If you wish to be happy, study happiness. Happiness is not an accident, it's a deliberate practice. But before it can be practiced, it must be studied. If you wish to be wealthy, study wealth. Now, would you like to guess how many people make wealth a study? Very few. And yet, wealth, happiness, and success are all values worth cultivating. You would think most people would naturally make a careful study of them. But why they do not is one of those mysteries of the mind that remains unsolved for many. Remember, the major keys to your better future are going to be ideas and information. If we lack anything in life, it's not money, opportunity, or resources. It's ideas that have taken form from quality information. Many years ago, I learned that some of the best advice ever given comes from the Bible. There's a phrase in that remarkable book that says, "If you search, you will find." That's the way to discover life-changing ideas and information. You must search. To find, you must become a seeker. Attend seminars and training classes. Listen to programs and podcasts that offer breakthrough ideas. Engage in conversations with people of substance. Go looking, go searching. Rarely does a good idea interrupt you. You have to pursue it diligently. And as you make this dedicated search, you'll find just the ideas you need. Now here's the next crucial step in this process. Capture. When you come across a good idea, don't trust your memory, capture it. Write it down, record it, preserve it. That's one of the reasons we have tools like journals and note-taking apps. As a serious student of wealth and happiness, I encourage you to maintain a journal as a gathering place for all the valuable ideas that come your way. I consider personal journals to be one of the 3 treasures a wise person will leave behind. Your photographs. Take plenty of pictures. Capturing moments and events in fractions of a second is a phenomenon of our time. Don't take it for granted. Photos tell the story of your life. New friends, new experiences, cherished memories. Make sure you leave behind a rich tapestry of your life's journey through your photographs. Your library. Build a collection of books that have shaped your philosophy and values. Books well read, well underlined, filled with notes and reflections in the margins. Include in your library a treasure trove of audio programs and podcasts that have enriched your mind and spirit. This library becomes a testament to your commitment to learning and growth. Your journals. Perhaps the most important treasure, your journals contain all the ideas, insights, and experiences you've captured throughout your life. Business ideas, social insights, cultural observations, investment strategies, lifestyle inspirations, all documented and preserved. Can you imagine the value these journals would hold for your children and grandchildren? They would be priceless compared to any material possession. Another key word for expanding your life for the better is review. Take time to go back over your life experiences and learn from them. Develop the skill of reflection, pondering life's events with the intent of extracting valuable lessons. I call it running the tapes again. Your life experiences are some of your best sources of information. Don't merely go through your days, get from your days. Here are some ideal times for reflection. Daily reflection. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to review what happened. Where did you go? Who did you meet? What did you learn? What worked well? What could have gone better? Capture the colors, the sights, the sounds, the conversations, the experiences. This daily practice turns each day into a valuable learning opportunity. Weekly reflection. At the end of each week, dedicate an hour or two to reflect on the week's events. Consolidate your learnings, celebrate your successes, and identify areas for improvement. Monthly and yearly reflection. At the end of each month and year, take more extended periods to review and reflect. This allows you to gather up the past and invest it into your future. When my father was about to celebrate his 76th birthday, I said to him, "Father, can you imagine what it's going to be like to gather up the last 75 years and invest them into year 76? That's how life becomes productive and exciting. Not just living one more year, but building upon all the years that came before. By reflecting, you can gather all the conversations, experiences, and lessons from your past and invest them into your future endeavors. The more value, substance, information, and wisdom you can extract from your yesterdays, the more exciting and promising your tomorrows become. Most of us already know enough to make our lives work out the way we want, except for one thing: how to gather what we've learned and invest it into what we want to become. So, start this new discipline today, a discipline that leads to wealth and happiness. Find out how things work and make sure you don't let it be said that you didn't find out. Let me leave you with a qualifying thought. You may not be able to do all that you find out, but make sure you find out all that you can do. Don't let the opportunity of knowledge and growth pass you by. At the end of your life, you don't want to discover that you lived only a fraction of what was possible because you didn't seek out and apply the knowledge available to you. Embrace the journey of continuous learning. So embrace the journey of continuous learning, reflection, and application. Seek out knowledge, capture valuable ideas, review and reflect upon your experiences, and invest all that you've learned into building a better, richer, more fulfilling life for yourself and those around you. This is the path to true success and happiness. Remember, life is not just about the passing of time. It's about the collection of experiences and the accumulation of wisdom. Make your life a masterpiece by becoming a diligent student of life. Start today and let your future self thank you for the efforts you make now. Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to talk about something that matters in every part of our lives: effective communication. Whether in our personal lives, at work, or in everyday situations, being able to communicate well can open up new opportunities and help us build strong connections. Communication isn't just about talking. It's about understanding and connecting with others. It's about sharing what we think and feel while also listening to the views of those around us. Effective communication is a critical component of mastering success. By mastering the art of communication, you'll increase every level of performance in your life. I've often said that if you just communicate, you can get by. But if you communicate skillfully, you can work miracles. Miracles in your family relationships, your business relationships, and your friendships. Take advantage of every opportunity to practice your communication skills so that when important occasions arise, you will have the gift, the style, the sharpness, the clarity, and the emotions to affect other people. What a unique opportunity to touch others with something small but powerful: our words. Let's begin by exploring the benefits of good communication in your life. Effective communication plays a crucial role in building strong relationships. When you communicate clearly and openly, you create trust and understanding with others. This foundation is essential for nurturing personal and professional connections, allowing you to connect on a deeper level. Another significant advantage of good communication is its ability to prevent misunderstandings. Clear expression of thoughts and feelings helps minimize confusion and misinterpretation. This is particularly important in teamwork, where everyone needs to be aligned in their goals and tasks. When everyone is on the same page, the likelihood of errors decreases, leading to smoother collaboration. Additionally, good communication enhances problem-solving skills. Open and honest dialogue allows for the identification of issues and encourages collaboration in finding solutions. When team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas and feedback, it fosters a creative environment where innovative solutions can emerge. Furthermore, effective communication boosts efficiency. Clear instructions and feedback streamline processes, helping teams work more productively. When everyone understands their roles and expectations, tasks can be completed more quickly and accurately, saving time and resources. Lastly, good communication supports personal growth. By practicing your communication skills, you become more confident in expressing your thoughts and opinions. This empowerment not only enhances your interactions with others, but also encourages you to take on new challenges and opportunities for development. Do you show up to work every day, work to the best of your ability, and always strive to be better? Great, but that might not be enough, because your speaking habits can compromise your potential for career success, even if your performance is impeccable. Whether you're interviewing for a new job, trying to land a new client, motivating your employees, or making a pitch to land funding for your business, how you speak and hold conversations can make or break you, regardless of how skilled or talented you are in other areas. Eliminate these 5 speaking habits before they destroy you. 1. Using filler words. Filler words have become so common in our colloquial speech patterns that we scarcely notice we're even saying them. We start our sentences with the word so, never consciously realizing it. We inject our sentences with the word like, never thinking about the literal ramifications of its use, and fill every pause with an or an as an almost involuntary reflex. These filler words seem innocent enough, but if they take over the bulk of your speech, they become distracting and reflect poorly on you as the speaker. Fortunately, you can train yourself to avoid them by making yourself conscious of their use and correcting yourself every time one slips out until your natural speech pattern is free of them. 2. Using repetitive vocal inflections. The inflections in our voice say just as much as the words that are shaped by them. Imagine the sentence, "I didn't steal that car," with an emphasis on each different word within the sentence. "I didn't steal that car" means something very different than "I didn't steal that car." Too often our inflection becomes repetitive, distorting the meaning and power of our sentences and leaving our listeners uninterested. For example, some people draw into a near constant monotone, never inflecting any syllable more than any other. Others fall into uptalking, the extraordinarily bad habit of ending every sentence with an upward inflection, like a question. Add variance and significance to your intonation and inflections. 3. Talking too fast. When you get excited or when you're nervous, it's ridiculously easy to speak too quickly. You have a lot to say and you're trying to get it all out, so the words naturally come to you in a constant stream. Some people subconsciously fear silence and use rapid speaking to cover up any brief pauses that may otherwise result. It's far better to speak slowly. You'll have more time to think about your choice of words. You can use pauses to add impact to your sentences. And most importantly, you'll come across as a much more confident, in-control person. It's highly unlikely that you'll speak too slowly for your audience, so no matter how fast you think you're talking, try talking just a little bit slower. 4. Neglecting your mannerisms. Everybody has small tics and mannerisms that go unnoticed and remain insignificant in daily conversations. But these small mannerisms can add up to real annoyance in the context of a professional or public speaking event. For example, if you tend to gesticulate wildly in repetitive motions, or if you unconsciously smack your lips at the end of each sentence, your listeners could view you as unpracticed or worse, unprofessional. Work with a friend or record yourself speaking to uncover some of the mannerisms you might be neglecting. Breaking these unconscious habits can and will be tough, but once they're gone, they'll stay gone. 5. Rambling. Rambling is an indication of nervousness, and it's especially dangerous in a one-on-one context. Generally, if you've prepared a speech, you won't have to worry about rambling because you'll have a specific, dedicated talk track. In a more improvised setting, which demands a back and forth between two parties, rambling is a much more dangerous threat. For example, in a job interview, if an interviewer asks a simple question expecting a simple answer, and you respond with an extended monologue, your credibility could suffer some damage. If you aren't concise, your message will lose impact. Don't let any of these bad habits get the better of you. The best way to avoid them is through ongoing practice. So speak in front of a mirror or with a friend you trust, and actively work to suppress these all too common tendencies. In time, you'll be naturally free from any of them, and you won't have to worry about your next conversation compromising your otherwise great chances at professional success. Now, before we get to the fundamentals of effective communication, there's some groundwork to be laid. You see, preparation is the key to good communication. You've got to make deliberate, consistent effort to keep putting into your head and putting into your heart and soul valuable information from your life experiences. You can't speak of that which you don't know. You can't relate what you don't have. You can't give out what hasn't come in. So the first key to good communication is a consistent way to gather information, knowledge, and experiences, and then remember it, store it, and have it available so that you can use it. Let me share with you the 4 essential words that lay the foundation for effective communication. These words are not just concepts. They are powerful tools to enhance our interactions and relationships. 1. Interest. Sharpen your curiosity and your interest in life and people. Those are the big subjects, life and people. What about life? The questions you might have about life and the mysteries of life. What about people and the human behavior? People often ask me, Mr. Rohn, when you travel to Russia, are the people there different from those in America? And I tell them, no, they're not. Everywhere I go, from the bustling streets of South Africa to the tranquil fields of Northern Ireland, I see that people have the same fundamental desires. They want to be employed, not just to fill a role, but to find meaning in their work. They seek a way to earn their keep, to provide for their families, and to build a brighter future, not only for themselves, but for generations to come. Everywhere in the world, people aspire to contribute to their communities and their countries. They want to be valuable, not just to their families, but to society as a whole. They want to be good parents, to nurture their children, and to leave a legacy that reflects their values. This is a universal truth, whether you're in Siberia or Australia. Now we must recognize that the opportunities to achieve these dreams can vary significantly. In some countries, the chance to succeed is abundant, while in others, survival is a daily struggle. That's why it's crucial to cultivate and sharpen your interest. One of the best ways to do this is by keeping a journal of your experiences. When you visit new places, jot down your impressions. For example, when I went to Australia, I learned that when it rains, they say, bring your belly. It's fascinating to pick up these unique expressions and cultural insights. Each place has its flavor, and when you engage with it, you enrich your conversations. You gather the essence, the style, and the language of the regions you explore. This preparation makes your conversations not only more interesting, but also more relatable. When you can share your experiences, colored by the vibrant details of where you've been, you create a tapestry of dialogue that others will find captivating. So, I encourage you to sharpen your interest. Embrace the curiosity that life offers and let it guide your conversations. When you approach the world with a genuine interest in people and their stories, you open the door to deeper connections and meaningful communication. Remember, every interaction is an opportunity to learn and grow, so seize it with both hands. 2. Fascination. Now, let's move on to the second building block of good communication, fascination. It's time to transition from being merely interested to becoming truly fascinated. Interested individuals ask, "Does it work?" But fascinated individuals dig deeper. They want to know, how does it work? They seek to understand what lies beneath the surface, the mechanics of the world around them. Think about children. They possess this remarkable ability to ask questions. They can fire off 100 questions in an hour, and it's incredible. Their minds are buzzing with curiosity, constantly seeking answers. They want to know what's happening, why things are the way they are, and how it all fits together. This relentless quest for understanding is invaluable. It fills your mental bank with rich experiences and insights, all flavored by your own emotions, so that when it's your turn to speak, you have something meaningful to share. Every day, let life fascinate you. Allow your interest to evolve into a deeper curiosity. Replace frustration with fascination. I remember times when I felt overwhelmed, stuck in traffic on the freeway in Los Angeles with a flight leaving in just 35 minutes. I could easily let frustration take over, but I've learned a little trick. When faced with a challenging situation, I consciously choose to be fascinated instead. Now let me be clear. It doesn't work every time. Nothing works every single time. But each time you can turn frustration into fascination, you're winning. You become curious about how life unfolds, how people respond, and how challenges can lead to growth. That curiosity allows you to gather more from your experiences, enriching your life and preparing you for better communication. So, I challenge you. When you encounter obstacles, ask yourself, what's fascinating about the situation? What can you learn? What insights can you gain? Embrace that perspective, and you'll find that your communication becomes more engaging and impactful. The world is full of wonders waiting to be explored, so let your fascination lead the way. 3. Sensitivity. The third building block of good communication is sensitivity. This is a very important part. It means putting yourself in someone else's shoes. Try to feel what they feel and understand their pain. It's about showing real sympathy and compassion for others. Sensitivity is about recognizing where someone is emotionally at that moment. Sometimes the reason someone is upset may not be clear. For example, they might have just received bad news or had a tough encounter. You can't just look at the obvious. There are often deeper reasons for their feelings. This is where your ability to empathize comes in. Learning to be more understanding is crucial. It can be hard, especially if you haven't experienced what that person is going through. But here's the key. You have to try. People can tell when you're making an effort to connect. They appreciate it when you show that you care. Take my own experiences, for example. Whenever I visit Mexico, I always try to learn a few words in Spanish. I listen to Spanish music on the radio. When I attempt to speak their language, even if it's just a little, it helps me connect with people. It shows them that I care and want to understand. So, make sensitivity a part of your communication. It will help you build stronger relationships. When you take the time to understand others, you create meaningful conversations and an atmosphere where everyone feels valued. Remember, it's this sensitivity that makes your communication truly effective. 4. Knowledge. We've covered interest, fascination, and sensitivity. The final building block of good communication is knowledge. It's essential to know things. You need to collect knowledge through your experiences and ongoing education. Fill your mental, emotional, and spiritual bank with information, so it becomes a deep well you can draw from whenever you need. To prepare yourself, make sure to do your research. Gather stories and insights that resonate with you. Keep the flow of knowledge coming, not just into your mind, but also into your heart. When you fill yourself with knowledge, you create a rich resource that enhances your communication. Every experience, every lesson learned adds to this reservoir. So take notes, write in a journal, and always be curious. The more you know, the more valuable your conversations will be. Knowledge is what allows you to connect with others on a deeper level and share meaningful insights. In conclusion, remember that effective communication is built on 4 essential blocks: interest, fascination, sensitivity, and knowledge. When you cultivate these qualities, you not only enrich your own life, but also create deeper connections with those around you. The ability to communicate effectively is the foundation of personal and professional success. When you show genuine interest in others, allow your curiosity to evolve into fascination, practice sensitivity to understand their feelings, and continuously gather knowledge, you lay the groundwork for meaningful interactions. So, take these principles to heart. Embrace each conversation as an opportunity to learn and grow. By doing so, you will not only become a better communicator, but also a better person. The world is waiting for your unique voice. Share it with confidence and compassion.